Hey everybody, Billy Rainford, Direct Motocross here. As you can see, we've got Dylan Wright, the number 9, coming into this season, going to hang out with us here for a little bit. Of course, I want to talk about the first race kind of happened this past weekend. I wasn't able to be there, so I got lots of questions for Dylan. He went 1-1 in a pretty competitive field on the 450. So anyway, Dylan, I'll introduce you now. Dylan, thank you very much, man, for talking with us.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It should be good. We had a good weekend of racing, so it'd be good to kind of recap on it.
Yeah, nice. I saw nothing but ones. That's pretty good. But let's you're sitting there in the Gopher Dunes shop there, and I do believe I heard Derek Schuster's voice behind you.
Yes, sir. Just sitting up here in the shop. It's where kind of get the best Wi-Fi around. So just thought I'd come in the shop, and if anybody wants to buy anything behind me, well, it's for sale.
Are you on the high bench, that high thing against the window?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know it well.
There you go.
Okay, man. Well, let's. Well, why don't we start? I mean, of course, we got unlimited tape here, so we'll get to the racing on the weekend, of course. But let's talk. You just came off a very successful season. It's been. I don't want to say it's been a long time coming, but you've always been that kid that we've expected big things. Fun to watch race. You've put it all together this year, even with that crazy one in Prince George, man. That was wild. But kind of sum that up, taking home that. How did that feel? And did that do a lot for your confidence? I have to think it did.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely did a lot for my confidence, especially going into the 450 class this year. Coming off of such a good season last year, just kind of tried to build on that throughout the winter and keep on progressing and, learn the new bike. Because, I mean, like it or not, it's kind of a big transition, even though it's the same chassis and everything. But engine-wise, it's quite a bit of a different bike to ride. So, having that confidence and kind of just wanting to keep pushing forward, it definitely helped me throughout the winter. And yeah, like you said, last season, I ended up getting the championship, the Triple Crown, and all that fun stuff, which was definitely awesome. And even moving forward, I definitely want that championship feeling again this year coming up.
Nice. Hey, did you get? What did you do with the Rockstar Energy Triple Crown money?
Honestly, just put it away, save it for a rainy day. I try not to live too much of a luxurious lifestyle. I try and kind of stay to my roots and stay true to kind of where I'm from. So just kind of put it all away and save it for, who knows, maybe buy a house or something. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I've met your dad. I understand how that has been instilled in you.
Oh yeah. He definitely from a young age was definitely good with that, and he tries to help me kind of even growing up, show to make good investments instead of just dumb investments. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, and can't thank him and my mom, mostly my mom actually.
Yeah. Now I know your dad too. Well, obviously both of them are awesome people, and I know your dad always kind of instilled. We've had this talk before and kind of joked about it, but back even when you were a little kid and winning and stuff like that, he taught you to just stay level-headed, just stay cool, and you never let your head get too swelled up, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. He would, if I was even a minorly cocky or something at the track, he would let me know. That's for sure. Just to be humble and stay true to my roots, even if even if you're winning all the time, there's always someone faster and someone better out there that's coming to beat you. So always got to keep pushing forward, because if we want to keep winning, you got to. The sport progresses so fast, so it's kind of just keep pushing forward and try and improve on everything we can.
Right now, everybody always makes a big deal, when a kid he races the 250 class for a few years. It's like, oh, how's he going to do on a 450? Well, even when you're a junior, your kids are out there riding 450s. In fact, I borrowed your 450 one time at that MMRS race, and that you even told me you were afraid of how fast that damn thing was. That thing was ridiculous. But 450s, you're comfortable on it. You weren't. I mean, it's not like, oh God, a 450. You're just like, you've ridden them before.
Yeah, no, exactly. I didn't ride it as an amateur. I was always a two-stroke guy. My parents. Well, my dad kept me on a two-stroke for a long time, but and I love him for that. But I mean, I was racing against 450s, and sometimes I kind of be like, oh dang, I wish I was on one just to have that extra power. But the bike, especially the 450s nowadays, like the Honda, it's got a lot of power, a lot more power than a lot of people would even be able to use all of it, but it's there if you need it. And that's kind of the nice part, if you make a mistake in a corner, you can still get back up to speed super easily. And that first time I was on a 450, it was probably my first year pro actually, when I was 16. And even then I was like, man, this thing's too fast for me, the torque and everything. But now I'm a little older, a little stronger, a little wiser too, you know, to let the throttle off when stuff kind of gets hairy. So that's definitely it's come a long way in that aspect. So it's good, and I like riding the bike. Obviously, you can't ride it like a 250 because I mean, maybe only Matt Gerke can hold on to it like that. But yeah, no, it's been fun.
Nice. Now, what's kind of you? I mean, that's kind of a tough lesson to learn. I mean, I know you were down in Florida, and you've always been a fun kid to watch ride. I mean, obviously the 125s all the time, just holding it wide open, throwing the bike all over the place. People were, of course, worried you do try to do the same thing on the 450. Have you managed to, what's the main thing people have told you to do with getting used to that 450?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main guy that I would have in my corner that helps me with riding is Colton, and he's helped me quite a bit. Honestly, the transition was pretty good because I watch him ride a lot, just at the practice track or when we're racing or anything. I watch him ride a lot, so I knew about where I needed to be power wise to have the bike hook up and not spin, and then, you know, not lug like too much. So I had a good mentor to kind of watch and help me through the transition because he had to do it. So he'd been there, done that. So it was nice for me, and he kind of knew the direction that I wanted to go, and he knows my style with working with me for so long. So it's been more trying to tame my riding a little bit down to use less energy and kind of use the power the way it can be used, as opposed to a 250. You know, you kind of got to work the bike as much as possible, whereas the 450 you don't have to. You can be a little bit more like just smoother on the throttle and not have to hit it, and just kind of use that to your advantage a little bit. So he's been a huge help with me for that. And even with bike setup, I mean, he's ridden the bike, so he knows how to set it up, which was a huge thing right off the bat last fall with him. Was like, he knew where I should try my forks and go from there. And I haven't moved too far from our original setting, which is nice. So we've tried a bunch of stuff, but I always go back to close to what Colt's kind of setting was when we started. So that was obviously made my transition easier. And I mean, even now I'm still working to kind of get away from the 250 habits a little bit, because sometimes when I'm riding or I'm pushing, sometimes I get that habit, and I got to tell myself, okay, this isn't a 250, you know, calm down and just kind of ride it the way it needs to be ridden, because that's when, and ultimately I'm going faster. So that's, it's still a work in progress, but you know, we're getting there. It's all about trying to perfect the craft.
Well, for anybody who's watching here, at least tell them you're still going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I can assure it'll be fun to watch. Just maybe a little bit smoother than we're used to seeing, but definitely keep my style. You know, I grew up riding like that, so I try and keep my little twist on a riding style and how I think it should be done. You know, so Colt has his twist, I've got my twist. So, you know, it's like it'll always be there. You know, that fun, exciting, you know, kind of throw the bike around a little bit. That's not going to go away. So I just have fun, you know, when I'm doing that, throwing the bike around, getting a little bit loose. I enjoy that. And you know, that's what's fun for me. And that's my kind of take on it. So, yeah.
Hey, how tall are you now? What are you weighing these days?
Like 6 foot, 6.5, something like that. Like, and 173 about, give or take. Changes per day, you know how she goes.
Yeah, up and down a couple times. But hey, now I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but I went all the way down to Florida to see you ride down at Dreamland there, and all I
Yep.
got to see was a photo of maybe a bike shooting off into the woods or something. Was that trying to get used to the 450 thing, or was that just a random thing? And was that something? I don't know how much you want to say.
Yeah, I was actually down there when did I get down there? I was down there for 2 days prior to this incident. I had ridden the 450 a lot in the fall, prior to the winter, and to going to Geneva and everything. Like, I'd ridden the 450 since outdoors finished. I was practicing on it. Even during the Supercross, I would ride Supercross maybe like once a week on the 250 and ride the 450 the rest of the time, because I knew that was going to be my focus moving forward. So I had a lot of time on it, and then I went down south and to Dreamland there, and I mean, I probably got a little excited. You know, I hadn't ridden in about a month, month and a half or so. You know, you're a little bit rusty, but just got down there, and it was kind of a little dumb mistake on my part. I hit a hole the wrong way coming out of a turn, and I don't know if you remember Chad Reed from, when was that, 2013, something like that, when he went off the side of the tabletop.
Very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah, kind of the same ordeal. I hit a hole at the bottom, and it like kind of spit me sideways, and I slid off the lip, and I took a hard right. But there just happened to be a few trees to the right hand side of the jump, so I basically kind of just picked the best spot between the trees to go through with my body and let the bike, I don't even know, hit the rest. But yeah, so it was kind of just it was a fluke thing. I wouldn't say it was really anything. It was kind of just wrong place, wrong time, I guess. But it was all right. I was hurting for a few days after, right when you were there, actually, I was hurting, but I got checked out and everything was good, and I didn't end up breaking anything or nothing, so that was good. It just took I think I took 3-4 days off the bike, you know, to kind of heal and fix the bike up a little bit, because it was a little bent out of shape. But so yeah, for everybody listening, I mean, even it happens to the best of us, you know. Sometimes stuff just happens and it's a little out of your control, but you just like me, you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going, you know.
Nice. Now, right after that, because I was down there for a little bit, I went to a friend's wedding and everything down there. Brendan Goldstein, shout out to him. But right after that is when the whole coronavirus thing was taking off, and we were down there in Florida. It's like, oh man, are they going to shut the borders? What did you do right around then? When did you head home?
Yeah, we were actually at the farm at Carmichael's place when it was all kind of started going south, because actually my fiance was down the week prior, because I came back up to Montreal and Toronto bike show, and then she came back down with me for a week, and that's when the coronavirus was starting to happen, like over in China and stuff, and we were like, oh, is it going to make it over here or whatnot? But no one really thinks about it, it could happen over here, you know. And then she came home, and then literally like 3 days later, it was like, oh, this is a problem. And then we didn't think too much about it. We kind of just kept training, doing our thing, tried to avoid going into Tallahassee as much as possible to go get groceries. Like, we'd go once a week, do our thing, and get back and stay at the farm. But then it started getting worse, and we got a text actually from Josh at GPF, and he's like, man, this is pretty serious, and that they were gonna like deploy like the National Guard and stuff. So that's when I called Derek, Tanner, and I, and we were like, man, this is getting pretty serious. Is the weather decent enough to ride at home? So that was kind of our idea, was if the weather's decent enough to ride at home, and this was, I don't even know, maybe the first or second week of March, we were like, we could go home and ride and still get our work in. Obviously not nearly as warm and as fun, but you know, we opted to head out that same week, actually 2 days after that, and come home, because we were having some good weather here in Ontario that was rideable. Gopher was open, the our like testing training track was open and ready to go. So we opted to come back and kind of just stay in our trailers like we do down in Florida, and just keep on our routine. We built a gym up top of the shop here at the dunes, you know. Since all the gyms were closed, we were like, dang, we gotta still put in our work. So we went out, bought some equipment, and kind of made it happen. And I mean, we're still kind of reaping the benefits of it right now, because no gyms are still open. So it was kind of a good investment for us to do that. And well, I guess we've just been waiting to go racing. Really, we're good to go. Everybody, I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. Tanner's healthy. He's ready to go. The team's good to go. So we're just waiting for that race and that first race, and make it happen.
Nice. Now you say you're upstairs at the shop there. Now I know that's where Colton Fasciati has his shop and everything. Is he in there in the gym stuff? I can't. Is Colton in there working hard in the gym, or was he? What's his gym program?
That's actually funny.
Oh, great. We got that question and we freeze. Just waiting for it to come back here. Is it going to come back?
He's working there, but he won't. He doesn't venture off too far from the suspension stuff to come over to the shop, into the gym. Sorry, he actually brought us some equipment from home because Jocelyn texted me saying, "Hey, you need some equipment? It's only collecting dust down in the basement." So
Amazing.
yeah, so he brought us some equipment and kind of pitched in, which was nice. But yeah, we can't even get him to come on bicycles. He's the full family man working. You know, he comes in, he works 8 to 4 whenever he needs to work, really, because he's been busy. So, which is good. But yeah, no gym for Cole. He's just the rider, trainer, suspension tech. He pretty much does it all, to be honest. But no gym. He gyms out, and we got him on the bike only a couple times. And even that, he's just like, I mean, he's done it for so long. It's nice for him to have a little break.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay, so let's get to some riding and stuff. The first time I got to see you out here was at the Walton National Prep kind of day where they prep the track and everything. And we had a couple of top guys. And I was kind of watching. I didn't want to get, I didn't want to, obviously the virus and all that stuff. We didn't want to screw around with getting the Walton folks in trouble by, we wanted to do all their stuff. So I kind of left you alone. But I was kind of noticing obviously you and Cole Thompson, a couple of the fast 450 guys, you guys seem to be kind of all business out there, man. You were putting in some fast laps. Looks like you were working on stuff, and so was he. Like, is that what you took that day as? Did you really put in some work there, testing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a business day for us, for sure. I mean, I'm going to speak for myself and for Tanner on that. We went there with a purpose. They prepped the track for us to kind of do some testing, and that's what we were doing, to be honest. We were testing suspension, a few engine stuff, a few chassis stuff, and I mean, Justin was there, my mechanic, Colton was there, so we were all business. There was no screwing around. I mean, we were taking lap times, and I mean, the best case to test some stuff is kind of in a race scenario. So I got to put myself a little bit in that kind of race scenario to see how it's going to work when we drop the gate here soon. So definitely was a work day. Was it fun? Yes, it was fun. The track was great. I think the guys at Walton did an awesome job, and it was awesome for us. And, even the other team guys like Cole and Sam Gaynor and everybody, I feel like it was a great day, and it was a productive day for all of us. But yeah, I feel like till the end of the day, I didn't talk to that many people. We just got our work done, and we treated it as like, it's almost like a mini race day, but not really. We just got to test some stuff, and we had to get our job done. It's kind of comes down to that. Prior to the season, we got to get our job done, and teams got to get their job done. So was it fun? Yes, it was fun though. I enjoy riding my dirt bike. So
okay, yeah, I mean, I felt so good to be there. And now we got to get to what I was really bummed that I couldn't be there on this past weekend there for that AMO race. Some top level guys, you pros kind of guys showed up there. You went 1-1, Tim Tremblay 2-2, Cole Thompson 3-3. That's your podium. But I want to talk, because I wasn't there, I really want to talk about the racing. I mean, was it like qualifying gate pick? How did they actually do the pro level stuff? And take us through how the day went for me, if you wouldn't mind. I want to kind of hear all about it.
Yeah, it was on. First off, it was nice to see some racing happen back in Ontario. In Canada, actually, in general, to get back racing, it was kind of a refreshing feeling, waking up. It's like a race day morning, although it is a local race for us, it's not a national. We don't have everything on the line, but I mean, it was still fun to wake up and be like, all right, we're going racing. Like, we're going to drop the gate. So first and foremost, that was great. And I think the crew here, I mean, I'm here a lot. I think the crew here kind of deserves a pat on the back. They did an awesome job, from everybody from the workers to Derek and Carrie. They did everything they possibly could to not have any issues with township and bylaw, and I don't know, whoever. I feel like they did an awesome job with that. So I mean, hats off to those guys. They made it work, and I think it went super smoothly. So hopefully that moving forward will be good. Will be a good test for kind of the nationals and stuff. And I know Walton, Brett, and Mel were here, to kind of see how it was going to go and stuff for their racing. So it's nice to see the promoters putting some effort in and, kind of getting it done for us racers. And then I honestly think having so many entries was great to see too. It was like, oh wow, we can pull these entries. There's a lot of people racing, and a lot of people, have the time right now to do it. So was awesome to see such a great turnout. And it was awesome to see the 50 class too. The 50 class was like full gates in all their classes. And, you know, that's kind of refreshing as someone who loves the sport. You know, it's like, okay, we got some young up and comers coming up through the ranks. So it, all in all, I think it was a great weekend. Even my racing, you know, although my racing went great, it was nice to see the other side of like the promoter and the racing go great for everybody else as well. So, I mean, hats off to everybody that came out. It was nice to see. And
I was going to say, yeah, it looks like I was going to say Derek really rolled his sleeves up, but then I just saw him walk by there in a tank top, so I guess he ripped his sleeves right off.
yeah, I'd say you're wearing a tank top today. It's hot out here today. We were riding, and I was like, dang, it hasn't been hot like this for a while. So, yeah, although it is dry in this area as well. We haven't got rain and it feels like forever.
Right. Hey, no. Okay. Well, let's take us through the motos here. I want to. I heard. I mean, I read Chris Pomeroy's write up. I read that because I didn't unfortunately see what happened, but he said Tim Trombley was kind of right in there and stuff. Can you take us through the motos? Take us through
Yeah.
how one month.
Yeah. Honestly, the first, I think, I ran 2 classes. So I ran the youth AB, like an intermediate pro, and then the cash class, I think it's called, which is basically the pro class. So the first one was actually the youth moto. Got out to a good start, you know, behind Sam Gaynor, who actually on the first lap, and put a little gap on the rest of the guys, and was able to kind of ride my own race. Obviously, it's kind of home track here, so that was nice for me. I kind of knew how the lines were going to develop a little bit. So yeah, I ended up winning that race, which was good.
Uh-oh. I got nothing. Can you hear me? You know, the GDR Wi-Fi. Okay, there we go. We're back.
All right. So yeah, no, so the second race I got a good start. I think I was third. Made a couple passes there on the first lap, and was able to get out front, pull a little bit of a gap on Tim, who was second. I think Cole was a little bit buried in the pack a little bit because there was 33 guys in our class. So I mean, it wasn't like there was only 10 guys. You know, it was a big class. So Cole was a little bit buried and was able to get out front early, pull a little bit of gap. And Tim actually was riding really good, and then he faded a little bit in that first moto. I was able to come out with the win by a few seconds here, so it was so that was good. I mean, I was pumped on that. I mean, it kind of shows me that my riding and my speed's been going good, and I mean, Gopher's always been a track that I like as well. So
intermediate podium.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. So we'll see with that. And, you know, it was a good day to test bike setup because the track was nice and rough with all the guys. So we're bouncing back and forth between a few things between some of the motos. So it's a good testing day too. And then the second set after intermission was the second youth moto. So I got a crap start that one actually. I don't know what I was doing. I got off balance off the start and I got it all wrong. So I had to pick my way through the pack a little bit. I think maybe 4 laps in, I was able to make a pass into the lead. I kind of just picked my way through some of the guys. I think it was Sam Thompson who were kind of out front in a little battle. And I was able to get by those guys and, you know, kind of get out front and have a nice little lead. And you know, it was good. It was fun. And I mean, but in like the third corner or so, and I was able to capitalize on that, get out into the lead. But I think Tim also capitalized on it because he was right behind me on the start, and then we actually had a little battle going there. I mean, the big French Canadian guy, you know, he's been putting in the time down south. He's used to throwing that big sled around. So it was fun. I mean, Tim's always been someone I respected a lot as a racer. And I mean, as a guy in general with what he's done in snowcross and stuff. So it was actually fun to kind of battle with him. I knew he was going to be good in the sand. So it was a nice little battle. And I think it was good for his confidence, you know, coming into the season. He's kind of a privateer. He's got some support from KTM. Obviously, I know him a little bit better. I'm living in Quebec. You know, I live there now. So I know him fairly well and seen him ride a little bit. So I knew he was riding good. So it was fun. We had a little battle there. And then at the maybe about halfway, I was able to pull a nice little gap and was able to ride it home. But yeah, I mean, it was, I feel like it was a really good weekend for racing if you were here for the weekend and could kind of watch on the hill and not get kicked off the hill, I guess, because you weren't supposed to watch. But I think it was good for the fans that came out. There were some good battles in our class. And I mean, it kind of shows what to come for the upcoming nationals from a lot of us. And I mean, Cole's riding good, Tim's riding good, Sam Gainer's riding good, Tanner was riding good. So I mean, I feel like this year in the pro class, I mean, it's going to be another one of those years where it's going to be a dogfight in both classes. So it was good to see.
All right. No, it was just one of those days where, you know, you went 1-1, all ones kind of thing. And you're like, okay, yeah, that was a serious race day. And then it was like guys who maybe didn't finish at the front, like Cole Thompson, for example. Would he be kind of saying things like, well, no, it was only a kind of a one-off race, didn't really matter. You know what I mean? You know how two different attitudes can change. So was everybody pushing it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a local race. I don't think we're pushing to 100%. You know, I mean, injuries do happen, so we got to be a little bit careful not to, you know, get hurt leading up to the season, because I mean, we're 5 weeks out or 6 weeks out, so that's important for us. But I mean, were we pushing? Yeah, I mean, we don't want to lose. Anytime we line up, we don't plan on getting second place, you know. So as racers, we always want to win. So I mean, were we pushing? Yeah. Will we push harder at the national? Probably. But I think you get your feet wet. You know, it was good to get a few gate drops in on the 450. I obviously hadn't raced it yet, so it was nice to get gate drops in. You know, get a little bit more comfortable with it, have it in a race scenario. So I mean, I think for me it was a productive day, more in that standpoint, just to get that racing, you know, mentality with the bike. And, you know, I found a few things. I was like, oh, this is what I got to work on heading up to the season. So that was also nice. And you know, we just keep moving forward and keep chugging along. And soon enough, we'll be racing the national. And that's when it really counts. So hopefully we can get some more 1-1s when the season rolls around.
Yeah. Now being on a team and being around a team owner and stuff right behind you, that kind of thing. Have you heard things like, we're all pretty confident that in July we're going to go racing, and we're all pretty confident with that?
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, Derek's pretty close with the guys at the series and stuff. So obviously as a track and a team owner. So, I mean, he's pretty transparent with us on what's kind of going on. And as far as I know, everything seems pretty good. Seems like the green light's kind of going for the season. Will there be fans? I'm not sure on that one yet. That's kind of the whole question. I know I was talking to Kyle this weekend, and they're trying really hard to be able to get some fans in for the race. And so, I mean, hopefully they can pull that off. That would be great. You know, have some fans coming out and enjoy the national and the racing with us. I feel like it'll be weird without fans, but if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. That's what they're doing for Supercross right now, and we got to get the racing in. So whether there's fans or not, we got to drop the gate, and we'll be ready to go.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. Actually, some of the Supercross guys came right out and said that. You realize how much you feed off the crowd when there's no crowd there. It's like they really noticed it.
Yeah, even as a racer, like watching the Supercrosses, and you don't hear the crowd or nothing, it's different. Some of those guys, I'm sure when you're up front and you can hear the crowd, like when we race arena cross and stuff, it does fuel you a little bit. And I mean, you can kind of see where those guys, maybe some of them are a little more stale midway through or when there's a battle or something. So yeah, hopefully we can get some fans. That's obviously the goal. And hopefully by the end of the season, we'll be able to get some people out. So. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you're in Ontario right now. You're living in Quebec. What's the future for you right now? Like, what's next? What are you doing here as we get ready?
Yeah, getting ready. Just riding and training. Just putting in the work, the practice track.
You're staying at
Really.
Coltons Gym?
Yeah, I'm at the Gopher right now. I've been here for the past. Well, I was here from March and April because nothing else was open. So we actually had our practice track to ourselves, and we had the sand track to ourselves too. So that was kind of. It was nice for us. It sucked for.
Hmm.
We're all kind of just riding and training together, which is awesome. So it's been working out well so far. So we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. I'm gonna go home, go see the family, my fiance and stuff, just a little bit prior to season, kind of recharge the batteries a little bit, and then it'll be go time. We got a little bit of race bike testing and stuff to get done, just a little bit, but just kind of the final touches, which I mean we've had an abundance of time, so it's not like time has been an issue on our end. So we're all just kind of ready to go.
Nice. Okay, man. Well, let's. I think that's anything else we need to mention. I think we talked about just about everything. That was great. I wanted to certainly want to hear about the racing and stuff. It's kind of we're all like just itching to get back, and you want to hear how all our top Canadians lined up and matched up with each other. So that was kind of fun. But what else you want to? I guess obviously you want to thank your team, kind of thing. We'll let. How about you do that? And we'll let you guys get on with your evening.
Yeah, obviously, thank you for having me on the show and the podcast or Zoomcast, whatever we got whatever we got to do these days. But thanks for having me, and obviously I can't thank my team enough. Honda Canada, GDR, Fox Racing, all the guys in the shop, Justin, everybody putting in all the long hours and hard work, to get everything ready for the season. And if there's one thing I can kind of say to people who are going to be racing Walton and Gopher upcoming in the next few weekends, just respect the guidelines. I mean, it's tough for everybody. I know it's not easy, but it's not them making the decisions. It's kind of higher up. It's Ontario, so you kind of just got to respect what they're saying and do kind of as you're told. If not, we probably won't have any racing. So we got to get through it and get to the nationals, and then we should be good. So yeah, I just can't thank everybody who's been supportive with me too, my fans and everybody. I know it's had to be patient, but the season's coming up, so it should be good. And obviously my family, my fiance, just everybody who's kind of my support system. Can't thank them enough. And yeah, excited to drop the gate some more here soon.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. Hey, thank you very much for taking the time with us there. And man, next time we see you, I guess you'll be in, it'll be like mid-season form because it'll be kind of what mid-season would be. But yeah, good luck in training and enjoy Ontario. And hopefully I'll have a bike of my own here soon, and I'll be bumper brackets and driving the minivan out there to do show you some fast lines.
There you go. There you go. Inside lines, huh? Perfect. Awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks, Dylan. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
See you, man. Bye.